We're live here at Quest for Player 2. I am Joe.
Oh my god, that image in the comedy, that is so good.
Wait, Daniel's here live. He's right
God.
here. There he is. Hey, Daniel. You can't talk right now. He's here. Elle is back with us this week. How you been?
I've been really good.
What'd you do this weekend?
Really good.
I didn't see this. We didn't see each other this
Yeah,
weekend.
I went hiking on Sunday. Went to a bunch of art galleries on Saturday.
Is that where all the pictures are coming from your Instagram?
Yeah.
Nice.
What'd you do?
What did I do? Oh, I went...
Because you weren't here on Sunday either.
I wasn't. I was here Saturday, though. I was here all day Saturday.
Nice.
And then all day Saturday. And then Sunday, the girl and Danny, I took her to Disneyland.
Oh, how fun.
California Adventure for her birthday.
Oh, that's nice. You have a fun time? Did you do the food and wine festival?
No.
Oh, okay.
We didn't get that far. We did a lot of things. Like, we did on all the rides and all that stuff. But
Tower of Terror? Or Guardians?
Guardians is our first ride. Yeah.
Yes, that one is so fun.
After
Do you remember what song you
Micheladas.
got?
Well,
What song
I've
did you get?
only gotten Michael Jackson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Only gotten. Thank you so much for the compliment on my jacket. Earlier today, I was called. Our producer said you look like Hobo Joe. Here's the deal. Most times I wear a full-on suit. Fair to say?
Yeah.
Most times.
Yeah.
I realize that you guys can't see me from the waist down.
So we're not wearing pants.
So today, I just wore jeans, like ripped up jeans. But anyway, what I was gonna say is, it looked like you had a fun weekend. My favorite picture that you posted, there's this one with the heads. These
Oh,
heads.
yeah.
That was a good one.
Stacked on heads.
Follow
Yep.
Elle on at Elle.T on Instagram, or is
Yeah.
it just LT?
L.T. Make it complicated for you. Got to put in punctuation.
Man, Thomas Franco, stop with the wrestling spoilers. I haven't even seen SmackDown. What the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus Christ. Anyway,
I wish I could spoil stuff. The Undertaker won.
he's dead.
Oh. Wait, what? No, he's not.
He's the dead man. He's dead. Like, that's his gimmick.
Oh, okay. But you can't see the other guy.
John Cena?
Yeah.
You don't know who John Cena is?
Yeah, I know, but I can't
He's in a
see him, so I don't
Transformers
know.
movie. Come on.
And also, did you know that The Rock is cooking chili?
What?
Something like that.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking, you mean?
Yeah, it's chili.
It's
I
chili.
bet he's cooking chili.
So let's talk.
Bet it
I
would
want
be good, too.
to explain why real Daniel's not here and we're replaced by the body double. It's because here he is. Look, it's because he's late. He should be here. I don't know where he's supposed to be, but he knows the call time. He's supposed to be here today. All right, let's get on with
It
it.
does kind of look like he's right there. If I scoot back a little bit for perspective, like, right, yeah. Man, that looks good. That is so good. I'll screenshot that and post it on Instagram later.
So we are going to talk about. You guys sent us in a lot of questions. We're going to answer them. We're going to cut through these like a knife through butter. So let's get through our first question. All these questions are sent in by you guys. If you guys want to send us questions in, you can do that a couple of ways. Number one is through our Facebook group, which is THS Hashtaggers. Post your question there, or you can send your question into THS.
Fans questions at THS.
Fan questions at thathashtagshow.com.
Oh, that's what it is. Sorry.
Fan questions at thathashtagshow.com. You can send the questions in there. Stephanie Storm sent one in too. I just got that email.
And also, John Gatewood also sent one in.
Yep. So let's get to it with the first question. Now, Elle.
Yes.
This week's question.
I'm ready.
Is it in the job description of friends to tell friends how bad their significant others are for them, and how do you do it?
This is actually a really difficult question. I was very blunt one time, and I don't know if it was great because they broke up and they eventually got back together. So
you want to say any names?
No, I don't. But yeah, they got back together, and that's awkward when everybody knows that I don't like that dude.
Do you still not like him?
We're not super close friends anymore.
Does he know that you don't like him?
I think he knew.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of that too. I told people before that, like, hey, this person's just not right for you. Like, this person's terrible for you. This person's a terrible person.
And how did it go though?
I think it went well because of the way that I am, though, because I'm a very blunt person just in general. So it's expected to me to be kind of like that. But I think it would be harder coming from other people. Like if somebody's more timid and they tell you that, I think it's more. Like, probably more effective, actually.
I kind of think so, too. Like, I'm kind of in a very... I don't know. I thought about it a lot, and I kind of prepare myself this way. It's like, why do you like this person is usually the first question. Like, oh, you've been dating for a while now. Why do you really like this person? And I feel like you could kind of gauge by their response how invested they are.
All right.
But
Here, but you know who else answered that question? Jessica.
yes, let us hear her response.
Jessica's gonna have a response right now.
Hey, hashtag.
What's up?
We're here. Another Tuesday here at Quest for Player 2. We're going to answer one of your fan questions. Jordan, go ahead and read it.
It says, is it in the job description of a friend to tell a friend how bad their significant other is for them? How do I do it?
The answer is yes. It is in the job description.
For sure.
For a friend to tell you if your significant other is just not doing it for you.
Your friends know. Your friends friends love you more than that significant other will at this moment, for sure. I'd definitely listen to your friends, because if your friends are telling you no, it's probably something you want to get out of.
Okay, but I'll tell you my thing in a second.
She's had experience with this.
But how would you tell them that?
I mean, I wouldn't be super direct about it, but I'd also like try and
Wiggle it in?
Yeah, just kind of wiggle it in. Try and bring up a conversation and see, like, hey, so-and-so is not really, I don't know, it's tough though, because...
Here's what I think. I do agree. I think it is in your friend description to do so. I think there's got to be a lot of love and kindness behind it, because it's a very sensitive topic, and it could go horribly wrong, and your friend may get really offended and be like, you don't understand our love.
Which your friend probably will do, but...
From personal experience...
They'll break up, and then they'll be like, oh my gosh, thank you for telling me.
It always is in hindsight, but from personal experience, when I was dating somebody that my family, or friends, let's just go with friends, my friends didn't approve of, they were extremely supportive, and they did love me, and they were like, listen, if this is what you want to do, I support you, but here are some red flags that worry me. Number one, it worries me, blah, 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 blah. It worries me that this. I see you act this way, and it worries me because. You know what I mean? Like, just incorporate certain things, like observations, like, ooh, I noticed the other day you were crying. Is it, like, is everything okay? I've noticed that he kind of does this to you.
Or just go up and be like, yo, your boyfriend, girlfriend ain't shit.
Or that. But I think it's okay as a friend, and I think it is your friend's responsibility to say that. I think there's, like I said, you have to be extremely sensitive, and you have to word it in a way where it's not judgmental, because it can easily come across judgmental. So as long as you guys do that.
Or be judgmental.
Stop. Or if it's coming from a place of love, I think it is appropriate. And as long as you say it in a way that's loving, I think it is appropriate, because your friends know you better than the significant other does at this time. And they always have your best interest. And especially if you hear it repeatedly, like from more than one friend, from more than one person or family member, that's kind of going to be like a red flag. And that's something that you guys should probably listen to. So
yeah, take it as a red flag.
Yeah.
Like, don't go nuts over their opinion, but just take it as a red flag.
And if they do get upset when you tell them your concerns, they won't be upset after they break up with that person. Trust me, it'll all make sense after that relationship ends, because horrible relationships usually do. So I hope that makes sense, and we love you guys so much. Jordan's putting out music. When is that happening?
Soon.
Okay, well, I'll have more of an update with that. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, I love you guys so much.
That was a good answer. I really liked her response.
Was a great answer. Go back and watch that. There's a lot of Easter eggs we were doing with Daniel here. Go back and watch that. I do like that answer. I do think it is it is a responsibility of friends. Like Jordan said, your friends are going to love you more than that person will at that time.
For sure, and they're looking out for your best interest.
Oh man, the fun's going to end. The fun with fake Daniel's going to end. So yeah, I think that's a fair statement though. Let's move on to our next one. Dan, you want to join us for the second one?
Yeah.
Let's see if you can match exactly.
Let's see if I can, hold on.
Nice. I like that fade in.
I like this girl that I know from this gamer night that we have on Fridays. Everyone knows about my crush on her, even her, but I can't shake the feeling that she is interested in our friends from the gamer night. Should I say something to him and find out? Or should I make a move on her, or should I just let things play out? Help me.
I don't know. If you're really good friends, I would ask the other guy, be like, hey, are you interested? It looks like she's interested, and like figure that out first, since you actually have that relationship and that connection. What
about you, Daniel? I've been in a situation like this actually.
Were you
the friend, or were you interested in?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Monica was very much this exact situation.
Oh, with
Tony.
yeah.
So I was dating, or I wasn't even dating. There was this. Well, it was a weird circumstance. So this girl liked one of our friends, and we were all supposed to do this thing at grad night together.
Okay.
But he didn't go.
Nope.
And I went, and then she ended up hanging out with me. So then she ended up like attracted to me, and then I ended up attracted to her. And then I told him, I was like, "Hey, this is the situation. Like, what are you cool with?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know her at all." And I was like, "Okay." So then it ended up working out. And then he ended up really resenting me for the rest of his life for it. But God, do you have a situation?
Geez, when it comes to that, and you're like thinking to yourself, okay, you think this person may like her. I would say try to find out, have that talk, because you don't know how far they've probably even gone. If you think that they like her, but you don't know for sure,
Yeah, sure.
you
Is
want
that
to talk
Ariel?
to that friend. I do like that shirt. Is that Ariel?
Yeah, Little Mermaid.
Huh. Okay. But think about it. Okay, you go ahead and you want to make that approach to that girl. You don't want to be the person with egg on your face when you find out, oh, I'm dating blank. Like, you're like, oh, shoot. Go talk to blank. If that's your friend, you should be able to at least speak to them.
Right, and just kind of bring it up and kind of get a sense of the environment that's going on. But also, if nothing has happened, they haven't gone on a date, and the other
Right.
friend is like, I haven't noticed, I feel like just go up to the girl, and I feel like the easiest way to find out an answer is to go up and be like, hey, I really like you, and I was wondering if you would be interested in going on a date with me. I'd like to get to know you better. You will find out immediately whether
true.
she is interested in you or not.
That's true. That's horse's mouth. But the thing is, he's more concerned with, it sounds like, well, should he make his move? Should he not? Is the friend actually already involved? Blah, blah, blah. That's why I'm suggesting.
But I feel like if you're really good friends, like, don't you kind of know? Maybe not all the time. I feel like some people are a little bit more secretive, especially in the beginning, or if they know that they might hurt your feelings. But yeah, I would talk to the friend first.
Yeah.
You should have that relationship. You can have that conversation and one-on-one, and then like just kind of test where you are, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so those are pretty subtle answers. Move on to our next one. So I love my boyfriend. We've been a couple for 9 months, but have known each other for like 2 years. He's the sweetest guy in the world. Even paid for my final year of college.
Wow,
But,
nice.
Oh, this is something
Nice.
sound good already.
as of late, I've been hearing him saying he's really disparaging things about darker-skinned Asians. He's Korean, and I'm Korean and Filipino. Though I'm light, I get offended even every time he
I
does
guess
it.
I would be offended too. That's like a racist kind of thing.
Right?
To bring
I gotta
up.
tell him how I feel and to stop. What should I do?
I would just be like, hey, babe, like, you do know that, like, I'm Filipino, my family might be dark, and our friends might be dark, and people on the street might be dark, but why the hell you gotta make this, like, a color thing? That makes you sound like a racist.
Sound? He's a colorist. I mean, literally, that's it. It's like, okay, there's happy
That's
to be
the. Hey,
colorism.
did you know that was the name of Kelly's boyfriend's band, The Colorist?
Oh, that's scary.
It is.
And that is a great free plug, guys.
Kelly's
You're
boyfriend's band, Adam, has a band called The Colorist. They're featured in FIFA, one of the FIFA games.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
cool.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. But with that, it's like, okay, hey, you're pretty much disseminating or spewing out some like colorism kind of propaganda, and yeah, it could affect me. Like she said, she's half Filipino. You've got to have family that has a little bit of tone to you, and with that being the case, it's like, yo, when you're saying these things, you're also talking about my family. You're making these blatant statements, probably.
Yeah, and if you've been dating for that, okay, you've known him for 2 years. Even if I wasn't dating someone and they were spitting stuff like that, I'd be like, yo, you need to stop. Like, that's not cool, man. Like, and if no one has ever told them before, and they're like, oh, I don't mean to be racist, like, this is a conversation you need to have.
Yeah, that's
Right?
you can't say things like that.
Yeah.
That's
Like, I say things like that to people in the street where, like, they're like,
you say
spewing-
things like that to people in the street.
Well,
you
if they're
make fun of the
spewing-
people's
He's
colors.
No, if they're
I'm gonna hold Joe back.
spewing,
He may hit you.
if they're
He's had a fight already.
spewing racist stuff,
I
like,
did.
I would
He
go
did.
up and just be like, hey, like,
Joe-
not cool.
I did get into a fight,
Joe
literally
protects
like
us.
What happened?
a month ago.
Wait, is this with Migdalia too?
Yeah,
Yes,
I saw
yes.
her post. I saw her post. What happened?
Us, Migdalia, Jezer, I think a few of our producers.
Yeah.
I think Josh, you might have been there.
Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So there was these girls. Did I ever told this? Have I told this story ever?
I don't
on
think
air?
you actually have.
The ramen story. So if you look at my Instagram post, Migdalia actually posted a picture of me and said like something about like, I don't know, she's tired of people getting away with like racism, And kudos to all of us for standing up for it. And the situation was this. So we were at, what was the ramen bar? Tatsu Ramen. You ever been to Tatsu?
Yeah, that's good.
So outside of Tatsu.
There's
And they are. Yeah, right. So you know how you have to pay on the outside to
and then you sit down and get
right. So we were already seated and we were just waiting for our food.
Yeah.
And there was these girls that were white and their boyfriends ordering, and these Asian guys came out, or they actually came out of Tatsu and just tried to get around them and said, "Excuse me, can I get by?" And then the girl must have thought that she was trying to jump the line, and then she was like, "No, you like wait your turn." Like she said something really derogatory. And then he was like, whatever. He's like, whatever. He's like, fuck you, whatever. So then he kept walking, and she said, fuck you, chink. She told him.
Wow.
Just drop the C word right there.
And then it all processed, and everyone's like looking, but our table's right there.
Yeah.
And I just stood up and I said, hey, I told the girl, you can't get away with saying racist shit like that. And then she was like, fuck you. And then I was like, fuck you, dumbass. And then her boyfriend was, what'd you say? And it's like, I went up to him and I said, fuck you, you're not gonna do shit. And then he was like, calm down, man, calm down. I was like, shut the fuck up. And then he tried to put his hands on me. Don't touch me, I will fucking knock you out. Ooh. And then everyone separated us. So then they kind of left, and I calmed the guy down. The guy was actually crying. Mm-hmm. The Asian guy was crying.
Oh, what? Are you serious?
Yeah. So
he was actually like
really
legitimately affected.
Yeah. So
you have to think about it like in many ways, like he was saying when he was telling Joe, like how defenseless do you feel? Because the thing is, it's like, one, it's a woman. I can't physically hit you because he's a gentleman.
And if he even tries to yell, like it might look like an altercation to someone like outside.
Exactly. So he's trying not to do anything, and yet he has to stand there and take that. One of the nastiest, worst words you can say to me. Yeah. You say it, and I can't do anything about it.
Yeah. So then the guy was crying. I was calming down. I told him, hey, you didn't do anything wrong. It's their fault. They're being ignorant.
Yeah.
They come back. Like they come back, and one of the Asian guys like bumps him.
Yeah.
And then fucking all hell broke loose. And then it became like a fight. I remember all I remember is like grabbing one of the dudes, throwing him to the ground, and like choking him.
Yeah.
And then like the girl was trying to get me off of him, so she like scratched my face. And then like I didn't do anything to her. I just kept choking him out, and he was just like stop. And then I just remember like Keith, one of our producers, Keith, had to pull me off of him. And then it was crazy, and then they left.
Holy smokes.
Oh, and then the cops were called.
Yep.
This oh my god, this Instagram post that I had read has
all of this context. All of this.
Yeah, I did not know that this was the actual story though.
The Tatsu Ramen guys came out and they were like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm fine."
Yeah.
And all I know is my glasses were gone. They were on the ground though, and I just had a couple scratches on my eye. And then I was fine. And then they left, and the cops came and they're like, "Hey, what happened?" And I didn't say anything. And then I just left. But that was the end of the story. But and then Migdalia, like they pulled Migdalia out of the way. She was on the seats. JD's sitting there eating his ramen, watching all of us.
Not moving
at all, of course, right? And then the rest of us, like him and Jezzer and everybody, they like kind of pulled it. Like, it was like a big pull apart. But
yeah,
it was pretty crazy. It was crazy. Like it was.
That is insane.
I would say that we won. Yeah, somebody asked.
Yeah.
But they didn't want any part of it though. You could almost tell that they were like, and I felt after the fact I kind of felt bad for the guys because it wasn't necessarily their fight. It was their girls running their mouths.
And they did not want to fight.
At the same time, like if your significant other is saying some racist shit, you're with them. You're guilty by association if you do not speak up.
Yeah.
If you do not speak up and be like, hey, I need to have a talk with my significant other. I apologize on their behalf for being a racist motherfucker. You know,
right, yeah, you're like, yo, I'm sorry. That's her parents. I got it. Don't worry. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. Like, I got to deal with this. We are going to deal with this on our own time. And I would have left. Like, you're eating at a ramen place where Asian people made your fucking food. And I will shit in your ramen. You racist ass bitch.
It was pretty crazy. And then it's funny because I was wearing like a suit jacket. I was like in a full-on suit.
You're always in suits. That's
true.
Right? Now.
It was funny though. Looking back now, I was like, man, I'm a 36-year-old man that was like getting in fights, but I didn't care.
Nope.
Well, good. I'm glad that you stood up. Like,
well, it processed in my head.
Maybe not physical fighting, but like, I'm glad that you said something.
It did process in my head. It's like this. You can either let them get away with this, or stand up for what you actually should stand up for. Yeah. And I was like, fuck this, because I hate that people nowadays think they can say things and not get away with it.
Yeah.
This sense of entitlement has to stop. Like, and treat everybody. I mean, it was such a stupid like thing. She easily could have said everything else without using that word. I wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Wouldn't have said a word. But just because people just aren't entitled to just say what they want to say. Let's move on to the next question. I've known this girl for 4 years. We hang out with a group of mutual friends. I have a crush on her, and she knows because I'm hella obvious. We're opposites. She's tall, slim, smart, beautiful woman. I'm an overweight kind of witty nerd guy. We hang out from time to time. We even go out for lunch and stuff. She always says she likes nice guys, but doesn't really have a type. I've been told by mutual friends, even if it does exist, I'm not it. Should I keep being nice to her and get deeper into the friendship so she notices me, not as a friend, but as a nice guy, and make my move, or treat her like all the other girls in the group and just become Elsa and let it go?
Dude,
Are you talking about Jezzer?
What? No! Whoa!
I'm just kidding.
Whoa! Jeez.
I know
That's
how hard it
messed
is
up.
to ask people out.
Hey, guy's calling me.
Wow!
Hold on.
Wow.
Put them on.
Hey, Jezzer, you're live on Quest for Player 2. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
We're
good.
great.
Fantastic.
You calling in for a question?
No, I'm calling you back. I saw you called.
I was calling about the audio thing, that's why.
Okay.
All right, thanks. Later.
Bye.
Hi, Jezzer.
That was hilarious.
Jeez.
But yeah, I'm like, if you're interested in someone, boys and girls, you know how you like figure stuff out is if you just ask them out.
That's easier said than done, I feel
like. Is that
like.
crazy to me? Am I like psycho? Like,
No,
do people
no,
like to
once
play
again-
this long?
once
Like,
again,
4
you're-
years? You've been crushing on this girl for 4 years and you haven't done anything? Yo, someone's gonna.
You are a woman.
I've asked
Now,
people out.
Once again, that's it. You are a woman. It's kind of easy for you to ask somebody out.
Like, the last 2 relationships is because, like, I asked somebody out because I'm like, I like you. I don't want anyone else to date you. I'm gonna at least try. Like, do guys not think like that? They're like, oh, I'll just play coy.
yeah.
Maybe she'll notice me one day because that's what movies taught me.
I think it's that whole fear of rejection thing. I think it's just, like if he approaches, she says no.
What
happens now? Does the friendship end?
Okay, well,
Yeah, it does. It gets awkward.
I don't know. Like, if nothing happens, I feel like it shouldn't be awkward.
I mean, I don't know. I think that there's different ways of looking at that. I agree. I think that you should shoot your shot because what's the Wayne Gretzky quote? You miss 100% of the shots you never take.
You never take.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing over there? That's what Wayne Gretzky said.
It is.
Oh, I think you should shoot your shot.
I mean, I definitely agree. You're not going to find out unless you do it.
Yeah.
Right? And tease to it. I mean, you move on. If it works out and she's adult enough, she'll be like, all right, I rejected you. Yeah, we're still cool. But if she isn't, she happens to be some like kiddish person, well, then let it go. Break up,
That's so
move
funny.
on. That's
The
it.
grumpy cat. Oh, that's really funny.
The girl I'm dating right now, I've known her for 18
That's
years.
the movie she asked for.
And like we've always been friends and for a long time, and now and it just came like it just kind of sprung up out of nowhere. The friend zone is a real place.
It
though.
really is.
But you can work your way out of it, and that's the truth. I think that you really can. I don't think you're pigeonholed in that forever.
Yeah, but it kind of depends on like the relationship that you have. But I feel like if you are close friends and you have been friends and just saying like, hey, I think we get along really well. I was just wondering, I don't know, maybe would you want to go on a date with me? And like if she says like, no.
Then you say friends with benefits?
I think that might ruin a friendship. That will 100%.
Well, we're gonna walk away from it anyway. It's fine.
I believe that 100% will ruin the friendship.
Wait a minute,
Come on,
time out.
I like
I'm
it.
just
We're
thought
best
about
friends.
this question.
What?
I mean, processing it in my head right now.
Uh-huh.
So, all right. So this is a very interesting situation because I feel like a lot of friends that I know are kind of in this like situation.
Yeah.
Or at least a few friends I know are in this
Few I know.
situation, and I feel like in one situation, we'll call him Lezer, but I think that.
I don't think Leslie's in that one. I think actually Leslie is probably in that one.
All right.
Probably in that one. If you think about it, look
We'll
at
call
it.
him Lezer. We'll use code names. And then I think that like he is in a very similar situation with I'm not gonna even go
Well, no, I think the whole is this person dating a friend? Like, is this person dating a friend of mine, or
we got a
I
super
think
chat.
that may be.
Sorry, we got a super chat. You want to read that?
From Maniac, this is why I tend to not ask not ask for girls because I'm afraid she'd say no, and I also fear my parents won't accept her. A fear I've had since high school. Parents is like a totally different conversation that we can have, but I feel like, all right, girls, you need to stop being bitches to the people that ask you out.
Yeah.
Be nice. You know how hard it is to ask somebody out? Because guys wouldn't be so afraid if if the rejection wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, any kind of rejection is horrible, but if you're like, I don't know, like at bars and stuff where it's like a guy comes up and approaches me and I'm like, it takes a lot of courage. And they're like, oh, hey, like, you know, I'm really not interested or I'm with someone, but I really appreciate you coming up and being polite about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, give them encouragement to ask somebody else out. Buy them a drink every once in a while for just being brave.
So you're saying even with rejection, be mindful.
Yeah.
Don't be a horrible person.
Don't be a dick. Do you know how hard it is to, like, build up the courage to ask somebody
Do you think it's harder for a girl or a guy? Because society would say it's harder for a girl. Because it's not society... in the past, at least, because now that's toxic masculinity, or toxic femininity.
Well, toxic femininity is being the a-hole.
Is that if you now?
Like, you don't look at someone given side eye and be like, ugh, like that is a horrible reaction. But I feel like if you're like, hey, I really appreciate you coming up and talking to me, like, you know, I'm in a relationship, or, you know, I'm really not looking for a relationship right now, but encourage them to ask other people out. Like, you don't got to be a dick about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, there was kudos to this girl. I don't remember her name. I think her name was Jessica, actually. Remember the girl from the karaoke bar? This girl, literally, we all went out to karaoke one night. This was not the same night I got into a fight. I think it was like the week before, actually. We all went out to Blue, and then there was this girl that literally was like, the waitresses came back. I may have told the story before. The waitresses came back and said, hey, a girl in this bar bought you a shot.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me.
Yeah,
so I don't think you said it on air though.
Yeah, well, she bought me a shot, and then I was like, who was it? Eventually, I found out who it was, and I was super appreciative of it. And then I bought her a shot, and then I even told her, hey, I'm seeing somebody, but here's the deal. Yeah. I super appreciate you coming up to me and you know, talking to me, and I didn't make her feel embarrassed or anything, but I'm not that kind of person to do that though, because it does take a lot of courage to ask somebody out, I think.
Mindfulness during rejection. It makes sense.
Yeah, like, especially if you know that person, you guys are friends, like, if you're going to be a dick about it, that will ruin your friendship, for sure.
Definitely.
But if you're friends, I just feel like, you know, like, I've had friends ask me out, like, hey, I think we get along really well. I was just wondering if you ever thought about it. And a lot of times, if I'm caught off guard, I'd be like, you know, I haven't, but let me actually think about it, like, and give it some, like, mindful consideration.
Yeah.
Like, I may not have seen you that way before because I've never considered it. So, I don't know, like, guys shouldn't be afraid to ask girls out, and girls should not be mean to someone that asks them out, vice versa. It
does sound like you are the ideal or perfect woman to approach, because you'll be able to, you know, talk them down from the ledge if you're not interested, versus other people who are just like, well, why don't you just jump? I really don't care. Like, you know.
Yeah, and it's so mean. Like, I wouldn't do that to anyone else. Like, if someone asked me for advice, I'm not going to be mean. Or if anyone, like, oh, can you help me do this? Or, you know, like, just don't be mean in general.
Send, like, a few guys to approach you at different places in the world. And
I'd be like, get away from me!
Yeah, I want to see, like, while you're at the supermarket, some guy's like, hey, how you doing? Oh, is that asparagus? You know, like the weirdest things, and see if you just turn them down.
Yeah.
We'll get this on tape.
I mean, I turn a lot of people down because I'm just not really that interested in, like, you know, monogamy relationship kind of right now, but it's like, I don't know.
Wait, you're not interested in monogamy or relationships right now?
Yeah, like monogamous relationships, it's just, I'm busy. I have other stuff to do. Like, I don't have the time to devote to actually build a proper relationship in my life right now.
You know what, though, Elle? Let me just tell you.
It takes a lot of time. Life is hard when you're popular.
It is.
Life is hard. What do you have in that cup right now? My God.
I know, I'm like, hot now.
Life, I know.
That's going to be a clip, and I'm pretty sure that conceited thing is going to come up.
Yes, like, yes. We'll put it all together, and we're just going to edit it. It's going to be a great package. Oh,
yeah. What's all this about?
What kind of stuff do we got?
Just Joe in a suit. A suit gives you +10 attraction. That's actually not. That's actually kind of true.
It's true.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it wants to know if you guys ran into girls at Blue all the time. I just say, just Joe.
Yeah.
In a suit.
Well, yeah. All right. That's kind of true. It is. I mean, it was because I guess she told me that. Oh, make sure you give it to the guy that's wearing the suit.
Yeah.
That's what she said. Anyway, I agree with both of you. What was the question?
Pretty much like the whole he's in the friend zone. Should he make the move?
Fucking make the
Should he
move.
not?
Just make the
Don't be a
move. You'll
wiener.
never know. Like, and I feel
Wayne
like
Gretzky!
that would nag you more than anything else. It's like the
what
one that
ifs.
got away. The one that
Yeah.
got away. And you don't ever want to live your life like that. No regrets.
Regrets and resentment, R&R. Stay away from it. It's true. We did have a question from Red Blue Blur.
Oh,
But we're not even there yet.
Jonathan- Oh, well, I thought we had Jonathan Gatewood. Blah, blah.
No, not yet.
is he the
No.
Red Blue Blur?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
What? Handle names don't match your Facebook names. Threw
It
me
does
off.
throw me off. It does
Threw
throw
me
me off.
off.
We have another one.
Ooh.
Looks like the friend zone is real.
It is.
I know women won't publicly admit it, so
Oh, well, it is. I'm sorry.
how do you engage the benefits of being in the friends? Can a friend in the friend zone lobby to be friends with benefits?
I would say no.
100% yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that means you really want to give up because, man.
You're not really friends if you just want to be friends with benefits. I feel like that's just a hookup.
Yeah.
That ain't friends.
You just want a
That's
consistent
booty
hookup.
There's
You
still
just want a
friends.
consistent hookup.
Whoa, let me say this. Let me really rephrase
Okay.
this.
In the past.
There were friends in the past that I used to hook up with that I'm still friends with now.
But when approaching a friend and then, you have a crush on them, why not approach them for a relationship? Why approach them for the
Because
friend
I didn't
benefits?
want anything more than a relationship.
But
I
it's
didn't want
kind
anything
of
more than
rude.
what it
Like
was.
I was in this situation where I was friends with someone for many years, and then out of nowhere was like, "Hey, do you want to just hook up?" And I was like, "You don't even want to ask me on a date?" Like I am a little insulted.
I had a friend who did that.
That you just want to hook up. Like really, I'm not even worthy to take out to a meal or anything else.
For me,
and we've
it
known
was
each
more
other
so.
for this long. Like
For me, it was more so. Let's not ruin the friendship. Let's just like have fun, and then like when you get in a relationship or I get in a relationship, it's
Then
over.
it was over. Yeah, I mean, that's an understandable way to do it. When I'm with you, I'm with you. When I'm not, I'm not. Just, that's the way life is.
It wasn't even like lovey-dovey or anything. It's
No,
like,
yeah.
hey, cool. Like I just got out of the bars. Or what are you doing? Kind of thing.
Well, yeah, it's a
I feel like if
consistent booty
you,
call.
I don't know. For me, like I set that up in the beginning. Like I don't ever cross that line with friends, 'cause,
Right.
the friends that I actually
Right,
care
but
about.
tell me more.
I don't want to like potentially lose them.
Right.
So I kind of only set up those agreements with like a date and being like, yeah, I don't really want to date you.
Well, see, I think that caution kind of comes with age, and not to say it in any rude way, but when
It
you
is
get
kinda
older,
true.
you do kind of evaluate
You
those
know,
things, and you're like,
yeah.
you know what? I'm not really gonna change my social setting and gain all these other different friends. I kind of appreciate the friendship that we have. Let's not ruin it. Blah blah, etc. Versus when you're younger, and it's like, oh yeah, well, whatever. Big deal,
You're right. You're
I'll find
right.
more people in new jobs. I'll find more people during the other classes I'm in. Blah blah.
Yeah.
All these things. But when you get older, you're not moving that much. You're kind of stagnant as far as your social circle. So you want to kind of, let's just calm down and stay right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
I mean, it's now I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it now,
well, of
but
course.
it's just at that point in my life, it was anywhere between my like early to mid 20s, even towards my late 20s too. My 20s, we'll just say my 20s.
Yeah.
It was just a wild time.
Yeah, I
Wild
feel
time,
like
wild
that
guy.
too. Yeah.
I was I jumped in and out of relationships, but like when I wasn't in a relationship, I really didn't care. But then when I hit my 30s and started this all up, like then that definitely stopped because this took precedent over that. And kind of what you said is how you're not looking for a monogamous relationship. You're not really looking for that right now.
Yeah.
For me, I wasn't either, and it just kind of happened out of the blue. So it was just like, I don't know. It just happens sometimes.
Yeah, and I feel like there's always exceptions to everything, and you kind of feel it out once you get there.
Would you guys agree that usually when it comes to relationships, they happen more often than not when you are not looking?
Yeah.
Like you kind of stumble
and
into
I
it?
also will agree that there's more opportunity that arises once you're in one.
Oh man!
Wait, what
Once
is
you're,
it?
yeah.
There's more opportunity that arises once you're in one. I literally, like, it's so crazy because after getting into
Yeah.
my situation, I felt like all the time, like I literally went to a junket and I sat down and a girl was like, I just want to tell you, you're very attractive. I'm married, but you're very attractive. And like I would
married.
I'd ask for your number if I wasn't married. It was just this weird thing.
That's a weird thing to say. I could say like I go to people like, "Oh, you're a handsome person," or "You're like a gorgeous
the
girl,"
end.
but
I don't have to go too
that's
farther,
just
right?
more
But
like a compliment.
My whole
you know?
point is that would have never happened if I was single. I feel like.
True.
Like, like those opportunities seem to never come when I was single. It always really would come like when I was always in an established relationship.
Interesting.
There are scientists that say when you are together with someone, you do give off a different scent as far as pheromones, etc.
Okay, because you have that confidence and that love and like that.
And then
exuding.
that comes in where it's like
okay.
now you feel wanted because you feel wanted. As a man, they say usually you kind of walk around when it's fresh. You walk around, stick out your chest more, you know,
Yeah.
and blah blah. And women see that. Oh,
And the confidence is like very attractive.
It's falling off you. So now they're like, well, I want that. And then so now they'll go to you. And when you have a ring on, apparently it just works no matter what.
Really, that's weird to me. Every time I see someone with a ring, it's like you.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not gonna
off
help
limits,
anyone
right?
cheat.
You're off
like,
limits,
that's just
right?
dirty.
Yeah, that is. I would agree
That's
with that.
messed up. Like,
But
I
there
wouldn't
are
want someone to
many-
do me like that, and I wouldn't do anyone else like
There
that
are
either.
many women that just immediately
Nah.
a ring they gravitate towards.
No.
Is that? I've heard that too. Like, so we have a friend. I'm not going to say his name because then Fabian is going to get mad. But
Yeah, exactly.
I think he would always like go out to strip clubs and wear wedding rings.
Yep.
And then I'm like, but you're not married, bro. He's like, no, the
trying-
girls like it
he's
because they
trying to
think that
score
like
with trying to score
it's like a
with shit.
psychological thing, and I never understood it. Though.
No.
It is.
No.
But it is.
I mean, apparently there are women like it's probably a thing, but
He knows how to
if
take
you
care of
are-
somebody. He'll take care of me. If I become his secret, he'll make sure to take care of it. He'll make sure to preserve it. So that's the whole thing.
no,
Yeah.
don't do each other like that. Like,
Oh no,
come
no,
on. Like,
don't.
that's
I'm just telling you that's what happened.
no.
Let's go to Red Blue Blur's question.
All right.
Daniel, what was it?
Oh, so Red Blue Blur asks, what do you do when your ex is dating someone new? ... or ellipses. Your best friend.
That's rough.
Wait, say that one more time.
What do
Repeat
you
that.
do if your ex is dating someone else, and that someone else happens to be your best friend?
That's rough, man. I'm sorry.
Well, that's kind of that's like a friend zone thing. I mean, that not a friend zone thing. That's like a friendship. Like, I don't know. I would never do that to one of my friends.
That's like a sloppy seconds. Isn't there a rule for dudes or something like that?
Bro code.
Bro code.
Yeah,
Bro
and I
code.
feel like girls too. Like, why?
Yeah, why would you want that? And it's like, as a guy...
Because then you're thinking about all the times you hung out in a group, and it's like, were you giving eyes to my friend this entire time? Like, that would psychologically mess me up.
It would me too.
You're right.
I might. I don't know if it's for everyone, but I would have to step away from that friendship for a quick second. Unless they came up to me and was like, hey, I know you've been broken up for like 3 years, you know, and we've always hung out in a group. And it depends how long it was. If it was like a week later, even a month later, but if it was like a couple years down the line, I kind of feel like maybe it might be plausible. I would still kind of be like, really?
Is this a real situation between that's
people in the
happened to him?
world?
I don't know. He sent it in today.
But I feel like a bunch of
via
people
Facebook.
probably had this situation.
People have.
You know?
I haven't had it with a best friend. I've had it with a friend.
Yeah, I've had it
And
with
then,
other friends, but that was like back in the day.
Kelly
thing
Taylor
is-
and Brenda Walsh had it for Dylan McKay.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
AC Slater. And
I'm just saying,
Zach
like-
had it for Kelly Kapowski.
But the thing is, it's like, yo, on one level, if you guys break up, either you broke up with them or they broke up with you. The thing is, it is over. And if time has passed,
Yeah.
It's time
But
to like
they said
move
like
on
the
because-
next.
Didn't he?
person.
No, they just said
he
later.
said ex
Oh,
is
later.
dating someone new, and it's your best friend. Now, if it is like the next person after, no.
That
There
means
was a
you were
problem-
getting cheated on.
Yeah, there was a problem. There was
Yeah.
a situation going on prior to that, and that's something you need to evaluate. And most likely, like you said, step away because
Yeah.
that is not a kind of
That's not a friend
friendship
that
or
you want.
kind of a connection you want to be in. You want to get away from that. But if there was time, you have to understand that. You don't own her. She does not own you. You don't claim,
It still
claim to a
sucks
person.
inside,
Yeah,
but, you know,
you
like,
don't
you
name
don't-
claim to a person. You got to be able to let them, do
And I
what
feel
they
like
do
as
and
a
move
friend, like
on.
a really good friend, if this situation arises and it is awkward, you just be like, hey, I really can't help it. We get along really well, and kind of like not even asking for a blessing or anything, but just like letting them know like this is a situation and being respectful about it.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
Man,
a tough one. I don't think I would ever do that.
I don't think I could do that either, or even date someone else's friend, like
I could,
like on the girl side, being like, that would be weird. Like that's just weird to me, because obviously like friends talk to their friends about certain things, and it's like, what? That's a lot of information to be passing around about stuff that,
I guess I see it kind of like, well, it depends. If it wasn't the best friend and it was just someone else, it's kind of like, look.
But this is a best friend
Well,
situation.
no, that's what I'm saying. But I'm
so-
saying if it was someone else, I see the relationship like an album. Look, I showed up. I may have, laid one verse on a track, but ultimately, that's all I did is lay one verse. Someone else is showing up now, and it may be their album. That's it. Let them deal with that. But when it's a best friend, F both of them. Forget them. Move on. That's not okay.
Don't F both of them.
No.
I'm not a big fan of the three-way.
We know how Joe feels about this. We heard last week.
No, but forget them. Let them go. Break ties. If it's a best friend, that's not a best friend. A best friend would not do that. They don't want to tread where you've been.
Yeah.
You know? And if they do, they weren't your friend. They were really just looking at that person, and that's probably what it was from the jump. Possibly even cheating. I would say no.
Yeah.
I say no.
That sucks to be in that situation. I mean, I'm sure it happens, but nah, I'd step away from that.
Yeah.
We also got one from Stephanie Storm.
Ooh.
Long distance relationship, yes or no?
That's rough.
I was in one earlier.
I think if you're in an established relationship, it has the potential of working a lot better, as opposed to being like, hey, I've known you for like a month. Let's try to do this. Like, try to keep it going. Like,
long distance relationships are just hard, and it depends on how old you are and where you're at in your relationship. It's
true.
If you're not, I personally feel that if you can try it, but it's a different relationship when you're not seeing that person frequently, because at that point you become pen pals.
yeah.
That see each other every so often.
And it depends on time zones too. Like if they're across the ocean somewhere and, waking up when you're going to bed and it's hard to communicate and all you got is text messages or emails or something, like, oh, that's rough. Unless you're in an established relationship where like at a certain point they're going to move back or you're going to move with them and you know that for sure you're going to reconnect at some point. I feel like you can work that out.
But that's an important talk to have as well.
Yeah.
Of like, because
before they
move, before any of that, yeah.
Because you have to also realize too that that's one of the situations where communication is absolutely key, and you actually have to know where the future is going. Because if somebody says, "I don't know where the future lies, but let's have a long distance relationship," I would say no.
No, if I don't know where the future lies, it means I'm not really even intending to be here for that future, honestly. So it's like, we'll just step away, let it go.
Unless it starts out as a long distance relationship and you're, talking online and doing that, because I know a lot of people reach out that way too, where sometimes it does work out. I feel like it is ridiculously hard though. It is difficult, and you have to be committed and have these kind of conversations about where you guys stand, how often are you going to meet up, and everything
So Stephanie
else.
Storm says, yeah, it worked out for her because she stayed up until 4 o'clock every morning just to talk to the guy she's with, but she's in Australia now.
Yeah,
with this
you're
guy.
with him.
But
so you did that portion which you suggested.
Yeah.
Which is
But yeah, I mean that's the thing. But in general, if you don't have a plan for a long distance relationship, it's not going to work. And if you guys are only seeing each other like once or twice a year, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
That's
all that time in between. It's far and few in between. There's a lot that can happen, and it's not fair for at least one person usually. But I don't think it's fair for either because it's just holding yourself, restraining yourself socially also, because there are some places you're just like, I just won't go, I can't go because I'm not with a significant other, so I just don't want to go.
Yeah.
And that's like, now you're holding back from things that you want to do, and events, places, everything, and it's just not fair.
And you can also be letting other opportunity pass you by that might be staring you right in the face.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's what we talked about earlier. No regrets.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. You should have some regrets in life because it's going to teach you very valuable lessons about yourself.
It's true.
But you don't want to look back and think of what could have been.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a regret. So I just said, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
We get you. We get you.
That's it for our questions tonight, peeps.
People did ask some in the chats, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, we're not getting to those.
Exactly.
Okay.
But guys, thank you so much for joining us. You guys, all of you in the chat, I'm going to encourage you. Instead of writing them in the chat where we have to answer them on the fly, why don't you send them to us at fanquestions@thathashtagshow.com or in our Facebook group, THS Hashtaggers on Facebook.
Yeah.
That way, we'll actually get to your questions. Or you can super chat them and we'll get to them that way as well.
Someone did try to super chat but didn't know how to do it. We'll kind of.
I don't even remember what they were trying to ask though. They just said that they couldn't get it.
They
going.
just couldn't do it. But Maniac, thank you so much for that super chat.
Thank you very much.
And and also video questions are good too. So if you have
Yes.
video questions, send those in also. But that's it. That's it for tonight, guys. We are going to be back on Saturday for TGIS.
Yes.
Thank God it's Saturday.
That's right.
So we're changing things up this week too. And this is something you guys probably should be aware of. And probably you guys, something you don't know this, but you do. Now we're going to change this up a little bit. So Saturdays are going to be on right here on YouTube, and all of our Sunday shows are going to be on Facebook.
Ooh.
So it'll be you got YouTube Saturdays and Facebook Sundays. So for all of you fans that watch regular Ranger Wrap Up, by the way, there's not a new episode this week. I don't know if our producer knew that of Rangers. So Ranger Wrap Up, What else? Superhero News Network, Henshin Hangout, Box Office Showdown, and possibly After Darks. That'll be right here on YouTube. Retro Ranger Wrap Up. The Sci-Fi Show, I think, is moving there as well.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, Live from Gallifrey, Wrestling, and Star Wars. That will all be on Facebook. So we're going to split the difference so that way you can follow us on both social medias for the different content. We want to diversify what we're doing here, and we want you guys to join us on both of the days. So all of you guys that are joining the chats, and we see great numbers in here, join us over there as well on Facebook. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Where can everybody find you guys on social media?
I'm Elle Tea on Instagram and Facebook.
I'm Battlestar Galactica on Instagram and on Facebook. Same thing. It's just Twitter is that #BSG.
And I'm Joe.
You're at that hashtag.
That hashtag Joe.
Don't tweet me. That's going to do it, guys. And I'm on Instagram, I guess, at that hashtag Joe also. But, guys, thank you so much. We're going to do MySpace Wednesdays also. We're going to get ready for that. But that's going to do it for us right here at that hashtag show. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
Happy birthday, Jody.
Happy birthday, Jody.